And before our debate, is the camera okay?
Okay, just restart.
Restart it?
Yeah, I will cut it.
Okay, good morning everyone. I'm Roxanna. And before our debate, we want to let you know that some information about art subsidies. It's in Taiwan. It is the duty of the set of Council for Cultural Affairs. In 2008, the subsidies amount is totally about 1.3 trillion NT dollars. Compared with our cultural concerning policies, it ranks the third place in money amount. And second, the subsidies in Taiwan contain all forms of art, including dance, film, music, and painting, and so forth. Okay. And government should not.
Wait, okay, Tracy, restart her clock. She's starting it now.
Okay. Government should not end art subsidies because first, art can cultivate people. The functions of art, according to Liao Dunru, the PhD of performing arts, includes one, to make people present themselves well. Two, to make people progress in knowing the beauty. And three, to make people know that the spirit of history and the culture. One of our government's duties is to educate people, and that since art can cultivate people, government can support art to lead our country to a well-developed civilization. And then, second, artists are the necessary element for art. In Taiwan, artists strongly need steady finances to continue their creation. This is an internet news. The title is "Hard to Make a Living. 3 out of 5 artists are worried." This news is mainly about a survey indicating that youth artists think aesthetic activities are not popular and insufficient support from government, and these performance spaces. And the above 3 items can be fulfilled by government's power. So, like providing performance spaces free and working hard in advancing the art activities. So, to give birth to more and more artists, the steady finances is needed from government in Taiwan. Okay. And the third, country art. Street art reflects rich society. How? For example, in ancient Egypt, Roman Empire, and the Tang Dynasty of ancient China. Attention. Their artworks are all casual customers of museums. So the artworks recording a lot of history data that how large they were. Compare with that, the countries in World War II, like China, there is no masterpiece in that time. So what I want to say is, if a country is steady enough, as usual, its art will be also great. So go back to Taiwan. I think the government should support the art to prove our society should be.
You have stated that steady finance is strongly needed for Taiwan's artists, but in the report it shows us that 3 out of 5 youth artists are still afraid of making a living, and that means that more than half artists are afraid of their condition. And remember, now we already have art subsidies, and now that the survey points out the problem, means that the present art subsidy is not a wholesome policy. As you know, there are still problems you mentioned do exist. So I doubt the efficiency use of the policy of art subsidy, and government of Taiwan do not hold a wholesome policy on art subsidy. And you also mentioned the relationship between art and society. The great art reflects both societies, now what you say, but is that means that the more money government put into art subsidy, the more steady or flourish the society is. So that means that our society is flourish only if government gains more funds in art. Is that true?
Okay, to answer your first question, that is why we need art subsidies. That 3 out of 5 are worried. That means 2 out of 5 are now satisfied with current condition. What government can do further is to release more and more funds to support the remaining artists, that make sure that the remaining 3 can be supported. And the second question. Well, I don't mean that if we have more funds in art, that means our society is flourish. What I mean is, if government decided to give more funds on art subsidies instead of give money to buy more aircraft, some military force. That means the culture. That may mean the culture is highly developing civilization, and may the people lead a high living life standard of life.
I believe that government should end the subsidy of the arts. My first claim is that people will